live edition of Chris Speaks. I was trying to start before, but I was having technical difficulties. I reset my internet, so hopefully that'll work. It'll work, and I won't have any problems. So I'm talking about the thing where basically there was a gathering of the top military brass, and they Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth basically had these speeches where they're telling them that they're going to do all these changes to the military and no beardos and all this stuff. So the beard thing, let's go with that. Okay. They've relaxed beard standards for certain people. Like, okay, some black people tend to get a really bad issue when they shave. I forgot what it was called, but they just look like razor bumps, but it's more than that. And some people need temporarily, and some people need it permanently. Some people just can't shave, black people specifically. And then also, during the Afghanistan war, I believe it is, they relaxed some of the grooming standards so that Sikhs would be able to join the military, because at the time they were having tough time recruiting people, and there were plenty of American Sikhs that wanted to go fight. So they relaxed the standards because of that. Well, and then we can go on to something else. For instance, they're wanting to make women who are in combat positions have to perform as well in fitness as the men, which in a lot of cases, this is an impossibility, and that doesn't mean they're not capable of combat. And it's like, well, the point is not to get rid of women, but it's going to get rid of women. Well, that's your whole point. That's your whole point. And they've gone on. He goes on the whole thing, and Hegseth goes on a anti-transgender tirade, and like you can look at the people, they're not applauding, they're just sitting there trying to be as polite as they can when they got these looks on this face that they want to go up there and smash his face in because of all the weird shit he's saying. And Pete Hegseth basically says that black people, like people who aren't white, oh hey man, how's it going, Aiden? I'm talking about the meeting of the top military brass with Hegseth and Donald Trump. So he goes on that thing about no dudes in dresses anymore. And what was my point? I was on to something. There's something else he said that kind of irritated me. So I didn't watch the whole thing. I've seen parts of it. I tried to watch it, but watching people from the Trump administration give speeches is very painful, especially Trump when he says a bunch of shit that makes absolutely no sense most of the time. So there was something else that he said that was really disconcerting. And then from what I say, I've seen Trump go up there, and Trump goes up there basically telling them that he's going to send the military after American citizens, and that these cities should be good training grounds. Why? This is American people, and policing is not what the military does. The military fights wars, and saying that they're going to fight wars against the American people. And this is what's hilarious, because the idiot doesn't even understand the oath that he took too. Not just military guys. I took the oath when I joined the military to defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. But Trump said it without the protecting the Constitution part. So we're gonna go against foreign and domestic enemies, the domestic enemies, blah, blah, blah. Dude, you're literally the domestic enemy of the Constitution. You are a person in power who's abusing your power, who's violating the Constitution constantly, who sends people out there to grab illegal immigrants and deny them of their rights. So this guy is saying this crap, and it's like, what he's trying to say is that the domestic enemies is the opposition party, the Democrats, but not just the Democrats, all liberals. So this guy has called the American people his enemy. Like, this is worse than Bush. Second Bush. The Daddy Bush, I don't know, he was a jerk, but he only served one term, and I was too young to remember much of that. That was like when I was 12 or something, the first Bush administration. Said hi to Aiden. Okay. Sunil said hi. Hello. Shout out to my fans. So you guys got any any feedback on this? Like, it just seemed like the whole thing was to try to rally these generals into wanting to basically violate the Constitution, violate the Posse Comitatus Act, and basically target American citizens. So, like, what the hell's going on here? And if you can't see it by now, you're just blind, or you just don't want to see it, or you think it's okay because it's the other guys. You know, right now, he's going after it, but it seems to keep going worse and worse and worse. And eventually it's going to affect everybody. It's just like the people that didn't think on the right, the Trump supporters who didn't think that the whole going after illegal immigrants was going to affect them, until it did. Bret Hart. You're saying I look like a wrestler. I hope he's a good-looking wrestler. If not, you're... Is that a compliment or is it a put down? Czar716. So, for God loved the world that he gave his only. Yeah, okay. Hey, Matt, what does that have to do with what I'm talking about? What does it have to do with the fact that we have a person violating the Constitution who's basically trying to set it up to where the military can go after and kill American citizens for fucking protesting? Excuse my language. I mean, this is not a place to come here and proselytize. Like, do that somewhere else, dude. If you want to take part of the conversation, and if you're so Christian and you still support this administration, then you're not a Christian, because you can call yourself what you want to call yourself, and you can preach from the Bible and everything else, but you're following the Antichrist, so that like totally throws that out. Oh, not on my channel, dude. Go somewhere else. You can spread the gospel wherever you want to spread it, but don't. I mean, you can do that, but you better bring something to the conversation too. I mean, why do you got to use everybody's thing to do that? Why don't you do a podcast and spread the word? I mean, I don't have anything wrong with Christianity per se, but I just don't want you to. This is not here for you to spread the gospel. Spread the gospel on your own time, dude. What? Oh, yeah, I can tell you, I can actually take your ass off of here if I want to, because this is my channel, and if you're on here and you bring something to the conversation, and don't just assume I'm not a Christian. How about you? Are you a Trump supporter, Matt? And if you support all this shit he does, then you're not a Christian. So how about that? You're just someone who wants to come on here and cause problems, don't you? Who says I'm not going to go to heaven? Where does it say in the Bible that I have to be a Trump supporter to go to heaven? I mean, who made you the gatekeeper of heaven? That was 8T, what the hell's 8T? Do I think what's a problem? Bring bring something to the conversation. I wasn't even talking about God. You want to talk about God? How about judge not lest you be judged, for the measure you give is the measure you shall receive. It's kind of paraphrased, but how about that? How about not judging people and assuming people aren't going to heaven because we don't fit your weird version of Christianity? How are Trump's actions not Christian? He's taking money away from, he's taking funding away from programs for the poor. Jesus said, if you've freaking, basically, Jesus said, I can't do it verbatim, but he basically says, you don't feed the poor, you don't give food to the hungry, you don't give drink to the thirsty, you don't clothe those who need to be clothed, then you're not a Christian. This guy takes away from everybody. And what did Jesus say about treating foreigners? Did he say drag them through the streets, beat the crap out of them, and put them in concentration camps? Did Jesus say that? Did Jesus say that? I mean, give me a break. And since you're there, hey Matt, fuck Trump. How about that? How about treat people the way you wish to be treated? Not take money away from poor people and build a golden ballroom. I mean, just because I just don't appreciate someone coming up here and just trying to use it to proselytize. I mean, do that somewhere else. I mean, because you could do, if you want to say something in the conversation now, that I actually would like to have a conversation, not to be preached upon and make you assume you're the gatekeeper of heaven and you know who or who isn't a Christian, defined by your narrow version of what Christianity is. What did he pay for? He didn't pay for crap. The taxpayers are paying for that. How about he pays? What is he donating to the poor? It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of the needle than it is for a rich man to go to heaven. Now, I don't necessarily think all rich people are going to go to hell, but they can't take it with them. And when they can't take it with them, they'd rather live forever. What have I done to benefit society personally? I joined the military when I was 18. I served this country. What branch of the military did you serve? What branch of the military did you take an oath to protect the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic? What have you done? What has Trump done for society besides screw it all up? The guy couldn't even run casinos. He ran like 4 casinos into the ground. No, you're a gatekeeper, dude. You think you know the answer to everything. Like, can we stick to the... I'm just going to ignore this because if you're not actually going to talk about what I'm talking about. So anyways, Trump goes up there and basically says that... basically, he's going to go to war with Democrats because to punish us. Well, he didn't say that, but it's to punish people who didn't vote for him. Well, we have every right to not vote for some Oompa Loompa asshole who doesn't know his... He can't do anything right. He surrounds himself with people as dumb or dumber than himself, so he doesn't feel so dumb. Why do you think he put all the people that he puts in his cabinet are unqualified, like Pete Hegseth? Dude was a weekend warrior, man. He was like barely a sergeant. Dude just got up there and loved to talk down to the brass. So there's this whole meeting, and you can tell these generals are, and whatever they are, these high-ranking officials were pissed. Dude, the fact that I served my country, hey, Southern Staffing Group, did you serve at all? Did you serve at all? I was a medic. I was a medic attached to an infantry battalion. I wasn't in combat, but I helped train people. I was around on training missions to make sure the people were okay, if they hurt themselves, if they didn't hydrate much. So I went to freaking Panama, the fucking armpit of the world, with people that hated us because we were the occupiers. So I freaking sacrificed a lot for this country, whether I was in war or not. You don't know what it's like to be in a country full of people that hate you, and they hate you because of what your country had done in the past. Yeah, okay, were you there? Well, then stop talking shit, and I don't have to go to war and kill people. Are you saying that you're better than me because you killed people? Like, I don't care. I don't really care. You don't get to talk down to me. If you don't like what I have to say, then stop trolling me. You obviously have nothing better to do. Why don't you actually, what are you going to bring to the conversation? How about you run for president? Why would I want to be corrupted? How about we have someone run for president who's qualified for the job? So we got some Trumpers on here. Why don't you go on your Trump channels and go say how wonderful Trump is? The guy's not qualified for the job. The guy's the worst president since Donald Trump. And so you asked, I told, okay, yeah, but why are we talking shit? I'm not on a public forum. I'm on my own private channel. This is my channel. I get to choose who I talk to. And, well, then why are you, not mad? Well, I might have said, if I said something about it and you weren't, well, I'm sorry. But this other guy, this Southern Staffing Group guy, seems to be one, though. And why don't you shut up and not go live, but and get a job? Why do you assume I don't have a job? What job do you have where you have time to watch my live channel? I have every right to go live, but you don't have the right to come on here and troll me. I mean, you might, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to block you eventually. Yeah, okay, YouTube's a public home, but that doesn't mean I get to that just because of that, you get to harass me. Why don't you get a life and go watch something you want to watch? It's like, you guys are the type of guys that get on here and troll me. Well, is there a way to cover this up so I don't even have to, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to ignore that. So anyways, it's a public forum, and you guys are just coming on here to, it's my first day on the internet. That's why I have 20,000 views. And why don't let me guess, you guys are okay with soldiers being used to go against citizens? Yeah, you're okay as long as it's Democrats. But when it finally comes to town and it comes to you and it comes to bite you on the ass, you suddenly won't care. So this idea that the rights are for you and not for anyone else is a bunch of crap. This is America. We are built on principles. We are built on principles of free speech. And yes, you're like, ooh, blah, 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 but you're arguing. You're coming on here purposely to derail me. You're on here to keep me from saying what I'm having to say. So you don't care about free speech. So go away. I mean, if you're only on here to troll me, well, let's talk about something else then. Let's talk about, that asshole Charlie Kirk. Sorry he's dead, but he was an asshole, and I'm not going to kiss his ass. He had his Turning Point USA has a watch list on college professors, and it's a watch list on people who do anything that they consider liberal brainwashing, like teaching history the way it is, anything that has to do with systemic racism, which is actually a fact in this country, anything that has to do with racism, which racism was a big part of this country and still is. And there was one guy on there just for using the People's History of the United States as a textbook, which tons of people use that. And it's actually one of the best history books ever written. And it comes from, they don't like it because it derails their hero worship. But it's not, it's all facts. There's stuff in there from the great, wonderful hero Christopher Columbus from his own journals of how he liked to torture and murder Native Americans. How he pretty much wiped out all the Arawaks from what is now known as Haiti. So you got these people claiming that they want free speech and claiming that they want diversity in education, whatever the hell that means. So look, you don't have to teach the facts and then teach falsehoods just to get a rounded view of things, because that's stupid. There's history, there's facts, and there's not facts, and opinions opinions don't override facts. Everybody's got an opinion, and opinions are like, well, let me do that again. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, and I forgot the saying, but pretty much like, okay, you can have opinions and there's facts. And the thing that is, if you're okay with the president sending military after one portion of the United States, then you got to be okay with them sending it against you, because that's what's going to eventually happen. Because once he runs out of liberals to boss around and imprison and kill, he's going to go after Republicans who don't see eye to eye with him on every single thing. So I just get tired of people coming on here and their only point. And hey, Matt, you're the Christian dude, right? Well, why would I run for president? I don't want to be I couldn't handle it anyways. I have issues. Anyways, Matt, sorry I got onto you about the proselytizing thing. It's just like, I'm just trying to get my message out and say what I have to say. And I don't have anything wrong with Christianity. I just feel like these other guys do, where they're doing a lot of things to just try to, oh, I drank the Kool-Aid. Which Kool-Aid is that? Is it the orange Kool-Aid you're drinking? Hey, Andy, what interesting do you have to bring to the conversation? What do you think about it? What do you think about trying to turn this country into a right-wing hellhole where we're told nothing but lies? I mean, come on, read the book 1984, because that's what we're heading towards. Everything's a lie. Everything they tell you is a truth. That's the truth is really a lie. Get a job. You get a job too, dude, because obviously you aren't. You're here. All you guys saying, get a job. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Do you have a job? Why aren't you working right now? How do you know? Get a job. Get a job. Hey, loser, get a fucking brain. How about you grow a brain, right? Grow a brain, bring something to the conversation, because you can't. You can't. You don't know how to critically think, and you just say whatever you want to. And I'm going to remove this asshole because he's just being a dick. He doesn't have a job, and he's telling me to get a job, and he doesn't know whether I have a job or not. How about you grow a brain, bring something to the conversation, or just shut the hell up? Okay, so my next thing is fuck Charlie Kirk, fuck Charlie Kirk, fuck Charlie Kirk. And most of the people that are crying about him didn't even know who he was till he got shot. I knew who he was because I've watched a lot of stuff that brought him up. So here I am, just trying to get my opinion out there, and there's people just trying to derail me. Like, the person has a problem. You have a problem. Okay, what about, do you guys, hey, have you been here listening to me? So what do you think of the speech that was given to the generals, and you could see the generals clearly pissed off? How about that? What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on some guy who was just a weekend warrior trying to tell the military to shape up, and basically telling them that they're going to discriminate against trans people again now that Trump's back in office? So he's making all these claims when he was just some like low-level sergeant in the National Guard. And we used to call them weekend warriors, and we didn't take them seriously. So, it's a perfect speech. So you're okay with fucking with black people because black people have skin issues. You have an okay with discriminating against Sikhs, which we lowered some of the standards so they could join, and you probably don't even know who a Sikh is, okay? So you're okay with trying to basically throw women out of any combat things because of ridiculous standards. Thus Hastings, Trump, yeah, go suck Trump's dick because that's what you're doing. That's what you have to say, Trump. That's your whole thing. That's brilliant, man. You're just so smart. But that's right. Smart people don't like Trump. He even said it himself. So, it was a perfect speech, and it was a perfect speech. So, Mister, it was a perfect speech. Andy, are you gonna like it when the soldiers come your way? When the soldiers come to get you? You think it's great? And anybody who's on here, Hegseth is a Marine. So, okay, he's a Marine, but he's still a weekend warrior. He was still National Guard. He was still National Guard. He's a weekend warrior. Look at this comment. Yeah, none of you guys, strength is power. Really? So it's a strong person goes after his political enemies or anybody who doesn't vote for him? That's pretty. No men in dresses. Ho ho. Yeah. And that way you're going to do all these things that's like really going to strip down the military and make it. Dude, Trump's already ruining everything else. Oh, they aren't? They're not coming for law-abiding citizens? Then why is he sending them into law-abiding cities against people, against protesters, so they can go? What are they doing? Do you know what the soldiers are actually doing? They're raking up leaves and they're taking out trash and charging the freaking, they're charging the country, the taxpayers, millions of dollars. And Trump, Hegseth, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Hegseth is an idiot. He's not qualified for the job he's in. And that's what made me funny when he's talking about qualifications and basically said that anyone who was not white or was a woman basically didn't earn their job. What communities? What better by what? Forcing them to be conservative? What about all the cities in red states that are way worse off than the places he's sending them? He's sending them to freaking what's it called? Oregon, Portland. Portland's full of a bunch of hippies, and he's basically sending them out there because I guess to defend the ICE people against the protesters that are beating the shit out of. And if you're here and you're a veteran and you're okay with them manhandling veterans, if you're okay with them throwing reporters across rooms, if you're okay with ICE beating up on women, they're thugs. ICE is a bunch of thugs. They're not agents. They're not freaking federal agents. Federal agents have limitations. Federal agents have to give you identification and tell you who they are. So we can say that sanctuary cities aren't law-abiding. Yes, they are, because there's no law in the books that says that local law enforcement has to cooperate with federal law enforcement. Also, there's nothing in the Constitution that says so. And the thing is that's not why they're there. They're what are they doing? What are the people that they're going after doing wrong? And what are they actually going to do? They're going to stand around federal buildings and they're going to rake up leaves and throw out the trash, because that's a good use of our stuff. So, I mean, sending who? Oh, you guys are idiots. Nobody's sending nothing to no one. And, oh, you mean the people who are going to pick your fruit and who are going to mow your lawns and who are going to do all these other things, some things that you won't do. Jason. Hey, Jace, I'll get a job after you. Why don't you get a job? when you impede law enforcement. So people taking pictures of them and people with signs who are clearly on public property, and they come and that's not impeding. It's a protest. Protests are not impeding. They're not agents. They're bounty hunters. They grab anybody and everyone who looks Hispanic, so they can get their bounties, because they get their bounties whether they're illegal, legal, born citizens, or whatever. I'm not on welfare. I'm disabled. Protests are to impede people. Wow, you guys really don't. You guys aren't even really real Americans, man. You don't think people have the right to protest? You think people have the right to go storm a government building to try to hang the freaking vice president and try to impede a federal election, but people aren't allowed to have protests on public land? It's impeding them. It's expressing our right. The right of the people to gather and redress of the government to redress. I forgot how it goes. Well, basically, the people have the right to gather and show what they're pissed off about, and tell the government what they want for changes. So they have every right to do that. The thugs of ICE do not have the right to come out there when they're not on their land, the land that's part of the things. They have every right to do that, and they have every right to do that without being violently attacked. So, I mean, you guys, I'm not waiting for an argument. You guys are the ones trying to argue. I'm sitting here trying to have a conversation, hopefully with people that actually watch me, not little retarded people who live in their mom's basement, who probably don't have any responsibilities whatsoever. But then and you guys are probably like over 80 or something. So, like, I mean, you're telling me, oh, I'm looking for an argument. No, I'm trying to have a conversation, but dumb people keep trying to be trolls because they have no life. Okay, so, what else can I talk about? Let's talk about trolls and how trolls have no life, and all they're trying to do is cause arguments and derail conversations, and can't even bring anything real to the conversation. They can't think for themselves. Everything Trump says must be real, and you're clowns. You guys are just clowns. You're treating me bad because you disagree with facts. No, the police didn't open the doors on January 6th. Yeah, you do have a short memory. No, they smashed through them, and people are crying because a woman who was crawling through a broken window got shot. Oh, they have really? They have the right to murder people because somebody claimed to have the election stolen from them. He lost fair and square. If he got it stolen, then why did every case get thrown out? And most of them were by judges appointed by Trump. They got thrown out. The only people who tried to cheat was Trump. Trump literally tried to have people, electors, go against the law, the will of the people. So you want to talk about shit? You guys support lawlessness, but you don't support the Constitution because most of you haven't even read a copy of the Constitution. Do you have a copy of the Constitution? Probably not. I'm surprised that even any of you can read and write. Or are you talking into your phone because you don't know how to write? They don't have, they'll say, so your side has the right to basically cause the death of a police officer who died of a stroke that was due to his injuries, and but the rest of the people who don't agree with you can't even protest because then the government has the right to beat them up. But It's a double standard. Can people who actually have brains in their heads actually come to the conversation? People who actually know what they're talking about? Apparently not. Okay, I need to get a life, but you're the one who's like literally trolling me because you don't have anything better to do. Yeah, no cases were actually heard. Yeah, they got thrown out. They got thrown out because nobody cheated except Trump. No facts, all lies. What a joker. Really? So you think the election got stolen even though there was no evidence? Know why the cases got thrown out? Because they asked them if they had evidence and they said not at this time. Stroke brought on by the injuries that he sustained by being attacked by the traitors, who betrayed this country. But you're trying to go against people who didn't betray this country, who are doing everything in their God-given rights, doing everything that the Constitution protects them on. Well, I'm gonna get off of here because like nobody's doing anything. You guys are just being idiots. So whatever. Okay, I'm done. Go away.